Press release with details of squad members including injury updates on a few. Just before the end of the press release, there was a sentence regarding the change in wide ball leadership. It said, and I quote, the All India Senior Selection Committee also decided to name Mr. Rohit Sharma as the captain of the ODI and T20I teams going forward. And just like that, Virat Kohli was sacked from ODI captaincy, a format in which he wanted to lead in the 2023 ODI World Cup in India. While the Indian board didn't provide any clarification to why the decision was made or what the roadmap is with the split captaincy, we will try to decode what led to the decision and what the new leadership will bring to the table. I am Shubhayan Chakravarti and joining me is Nikhil Narayan to discuss the change of leadership in the Indian cricketing circuit. Nikhil, a big development. Although BCCI didn't put any emphasis on it, it just mentioned with a passing line. But what does the decision mean for the Indian cricket fraternity and the team ecosystem?
A big call by the BCCI. Very unceremoniously, they have sacked Virat Kohli as the ODI skipper. A very controversial call.
Yep.
Just before a big tour, as India chased their first Test series win in South Africa. And a call, basically they've sacked Virat Kohli, who's not just any player, not just any batsman. He is perhaps, India's greatest batsman if you consider all three formats.
Absolutely.
Even maybe above Sachin Tendulkar because of his record in T20 cricket. So to be meted with such a treatment, sacked after having such a great record in ODI cricket, minus the world tournaments, is a bit of a, shock. And all will not be well in the Indian camp after this, Shubhayan.
Nikhil, I am not just saying this because he is Virat Kohli, he is the brand of world cricket, he is the biggest brand of world cricket. I am not just saying because of it, but when a captain is changed or a vice captain is made in the test format, you need to have some sort of acknowledgement or some sort of thankfulness regarding the previous captain, which BCCI didn't even mention a thank you note for Virat Kohli in that statement. Was it a shock for you yesterday?
Yeah, it was, the way it was done, it was an absolute shock. I did not expect this to happen. And even if this was to happen, and let's say Virat Kohli did not want to step down, you have further meetings, further engagements, you convince him there's a 2023 World Cup coming in which they see Rohit Sharma as the skipper, and then you come to a conclusion. Of course, you have to thank him for what he's done for Indian cricket. I mean, his record is outstanding, and again, this is Virat Kohli. You do it for any skipper, and you don't do it for Virat Kohli. This is not the way to run, Indian cricket. I'm really sorry to say that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Nikhil, before we move to the statistics and everything, our senior correspondent, senior journalist, senior colleague, Mr. Sumon Ray, had taken one interview with Rajkumar Sharma, Virat Kohli's childhood coach, and here he is what saying about Virat Kohli, the change of leadership duty. Let's take a look at that.
His future is very bright. It was his own decision to let go the T20 captaincy because he wanted to manage his workload. So he's got a bright future, and he's done so well in the past for the country, which I think not many has done for the country. So I think he'll be there for another 5-6 years.
Yes, Nikhil, that was Rajkumar Sharma for you talking about Virat Kohli, the captain, and what led to the decision of him stepping down from the T20I captaincy. It was his move. But now we are talking about the change in ODI leadership. But Nikhil, when it comes to statistics and numbers, how did Kohli fare as an ODI captain?
Yeah, see, Virat Kohli has, the 5th best ratio in ODI cricket history, not only for an Indian captain, but in ODI cricket history. And look at the 4 captains before him, Shubhayan: Clive Lloyd, Ricky Ponting, Hansi Cronje, Faf du Plessis. I mean, then Virat Kohli. He has a better win-loss ratio in ODIs than Stephen Waugh, Viv Richards, Ian Morgan, who's labelled as one of the finest captains in contemporary cricket, right? Yeah. India has won 65 of the 95 ODIs under Virat Kohli's captaincy. So Virat Kohli, he has, therefore to unceremoniously, out of the blue, sack him as ODI leader is just a very unwanted call by the BCCI.
Absolutely. For our viewers, I'll give a landscape to what happened, what transpired behind the scene. BCCI, after having discussions with Rohit Sharma, with Virat Kohli and the leadership group, the new coaches that were to come on board, they had a discussion around the leadership, the white ball captaincy and the red ball captaincy. Virat Kohli was okay with not having the duties of T20 circuit, but he wanted to lead the 2023 ODI World Cup, which is in India, and that was his best chance to lift a World Cup as a captain. But then BCCI wanted a single specific captain for the white ball circuit, both the T20Is and ODIs, and they wanted Virat to step down mutually, by mutual consent, that he will not take the charge in the ODI circuit. But Virat wanted to get over with the get with the ODI captaincy, and then hence he didn't resign from captaincy, and then BCCI made the harsh call of sacking him as a ODI captain. As harsh it may sound, it comes as a very unwelcoming note. The fans are in complete outrage when it comes to social media action. But Nikhil, when it comes to bilateral series, we all know Virat has a tremendous record. But when it comes to ICC tournaments, that's the only piece that was missing from his cabinet.
Absolutely. In bilateral series, Shubayan, he has led India in 17 series and India has won 13, which is one of the best records for a captain in ODI history. In the highlights include, remember that 5-1 triumph in South Africa. It was India's first ODI series win in South Africa in 7 attempts. And against a team which comprised of AB, Harshi Mamla, Kagiso Rabada, Moni Mokal. Then he also led India to victory in Australia, in New Zealand. So there have been some remarkable wins under Virat Kohli, bilateral series wins. Yes. Now the problem remains, and one of the prime reasons cited for sacking him is that he could not lead India to a win in an ICC World Tournament. He led India in 2 ICC World Tournaments in the ODI format. The Champions Trophy in 2017, where we lost to Pakistan in the final. India were favourites, but Pakistan beat us in the final, and the 2019 semi-final, where we lost to the underdogs New Zealand in the in England. Again, a match where we should have won. We were labelled favourites, and that hasn't gone well. I mean, also given the fact India hasn't won a big tournament since 2013, when MS Dhoni led us to victory in England, the Champions Trophy. Therefore, India thinks that BCCI thinks that Rohit Sharma is the best bet to lead India to a world title. There's nothing wrong with the thinking, but the way they've executed it, there's a problem there.
Absolutely, and a bit of clarity from the BCCI would have surely helped the entire situation. But Nikhil, when it comes to tactics, we all know that Rohit Sharma has been hailed as a tactically astute captain who knows which players to use at which point. But is it really true when it comes to tactical battles, especially in bilateral series in ODI format? Because T20 and ODI still are completely separate format, which require different set of tactics, right?
Absolutely. They demand different set of tactics, but the BCCI is hoping that Rohit will be able to replicate what he's done for Mumbai Indians in the IPL, for India, in the World Cup, and going forward in various bilateral series. I think the BCCI doesn't care about bilateral series. They want that 2023 World Cup, and therefore Rohit comes into the picture. 5 IPL titles for MI. Virat Kohli had none for RCB. Virat Kohli, you saw what transpired in the recent T20 World Cup. So I think Rohit Sharma, everyone says that tactically, as far as strategy is concerned, he's more astute, he's more active. Virat Kohli is more of a reactive captain, and whereas MS Dhoni and Rohit Sharma are more
prudent and more
prudent, and they're more active. They're not reactive captains. Therefore, Rohit Sharma being given the ODI captaincy, although he's 34, I'm not surprised by the decision, because the only focus of the BCCI is the 2023 World Cup as a moment. Then Rohit Sharma might well be replaced by KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, etc., etc.
Absolutely. And Nikhil, that's it for the show. But we will have to review the South Africa squad as well. But for now, that's it for the special on the power shift of the Indian cricket. Don't forget to tune in for the African Safari, where we will review the entire India squad, which was announced yesterday. The Indian team is missing some big players due to injuries, so we will review and analyze the entire squad for that episode. But thank you so much for watching News 9. For more such videos on sports and all over the world, keep watching and subscribe to News 9.